Hello, nice people. I wanted to share some thoughts with you in the light of the recent drama with Instagram and Adobe. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to explain shortly, and I'm going to share what I plan to do about it. Also, let's hope that my microphone is going to cooperate today because it's been a very, very naughty boy lately, but also it's a cheap piece of garbage, so we can't really expect too much of it. So let's start with Instagram. So Meta intends to train their language learning model or whatever. We're going to just go with AI for ease because that's what pretty much everyone are doing. So they're planning to train it on the data of their users, on the content that you upload on their platforms. Particularly here we're talking about Instagram because nobody cares about Facebook anymore. And by the way, they're not asking for your consent. They assume that they already have it. And maybe if you're adventurous enough to venture into the drop-down menu, maybe you can opt out. If you're in the EU, maybe. So yeah, for us in the EU, there's maybe a chance that we can opt out, though there is no guarantee that our wishes will actually be respected. I'm very skeptical. I don't trust big companies. If you want to opt out, you only have time until the 26th of June. So now's the time to try and do it. You can Google how to do it. It's kind of complicated. But something I want to mention about the process is that at some point, you will be asked to fill this form, and there will be a field asking, why shouldn't we train our AI on your data? Shouldn't the question be, why should you? So basically, it looks like they require you to write an essay of why you don't want to be exploited and taken advantage of. But let me tell you not to worry about it too much, because after I filled it in, I received a mail confirming that I am opted out. Again, do I trust it? So the acceptance happened so quickly that I doubt that a real person is actually reviewing these forms. So don't worry too much about it. Don't worry what you write. I think it should be fine to just write, I don't wanna. But I think this is part of the scumminess because they're trying to intimidate you and inconvenience you with this form. First of all, they're doing by how complicated it is to find the form in the first place. And then you're expected to elaborate on why you should have basic rights. The right to privacy and owning the fruits of your labor, basically. You shouldn't have to defend that. That should be a given. Or that's at least my opinion. But anyway, let's not get too sidetracked. Now, if you're located outside of the EU, I'm not even sure that you have access to this form at all. Thankfully, the EU is a little bit better about personal data. It's not perfect. There's much to work on, but it is a little bit better. And if you're outside, I would still Google around to see if there are any options. But I don't know if you have. Maybe just try to publicly shame them on social media. That seems to be all that works these days. Yes, I'm pro canceling big companies. So that is the Instagram drama in a nutshell. This has led many artists to delete their accounts, leave the platform. And I've been thinking about it, obviously. I don't think that this alone has caused that. I think it's been a long coming. The platform has been pretty bad for years now. It's been just filled with ads, and we barely can do what we came for here in the first place, which I would imagine is to connect with each other and share nice pictures and talk about things that interest us. But that is not good enough because you need to buy more. Many have moved over to the new app called Kara, which is supposed to be the new Instagram replacement for artists, or like a portfolio site replacement. I guess it's too early to say what it is exactly. But for the time being, their stance on AI is more in the favor of artists. They don't intend to train AI on your data for now. Again, they might have the best of intentions right now, but no one can know what happens in the future, what is in their interest in the future. Also, maintaining platform like that is not cheap. It's not easy, unfortunately. So we don't know what they might have to do in the future in order to survive. But for now, they seem fairly safe. Another big plus is that they have partnered up with Glaze, which is a new tool for artists to protect themselves against AI. It's basically like a filter or something that you add on top that is pretty much invisible or undetectable for the human eye, but it messes up with the training data so that the AI produces faulty results. So yeah, for many, Kara is the solution, at least at this point in time. For me, I'm not so sure. So I have created an account. I haven't used it yet. I just decided to claim my username and see what happens later. I also like the idea of having an online space to use Glaze because I have tried to run it on my laptop and it's very, very slow. The other issue is that it's not very compatible with my style, I would say, because the glazing filter or whatever it is called, the artifacts that it leaves are very visible on my work. I think it's because it's not that detailed, it's not that shaded, it's not that complicated. So maybe I would have a better chance glazing over photos of my work. I don't know. I'm yet to try that. But again, it takes a very long time. So if I have a way to do it somewhere online, that would be best. And as for Instagram, I'm not feeling particularly sad about potentially leaving it because I haven't really cared much about it for a long time now. Even as a user, I'm not having a lot of enjoyment with it. I've been mostly using stories lately. I haven't been posting that much because it feels pretty pointless. So why waste my time? At the same time, I don't really want to delete my account because I kind of want to have a public record of my work existing pre-2022 so I can prove that I'm not a prompter. I have had artist friends, even traditional artists, who have been accused of using AI for their work, which is pretty awful as an actual artist who actually works for their art. This kind of people probably wouldn't care, but I thought that it could be nice to have a proof that I didn't become an artist in 2022. If you know what I mean. So I think I probably won't be deleting my Instagram, but I will be not very active. I mean, I'm already not. I will probably use it for updates and such. I don't know if I get really inspired or if something really changes for the better. Maybe I will use it, but probably won't be deleting it for now. And so what am I going to do instead then? Well, my plan for a while now has been to move over to my own blog. And it's been a slow process because it takes a lot of work. It takes more work, I would say, than posting on Instagram. But I really, really want to do that because I'm sick of these platforms. I'm sick of being used and harvested for my data and just being the product. I've been craving some autonomy and I feel like my own blog is the place to regain that. Of course, the downside is that no one will probably see my stuff because nobody goes on random obscure blogs anymore. I think some people or companies use blogs nowadays for search engine optimization and mostly just stuff it with AI created slop of keywords just to bump their ranking, although it's not known if that really works anymore because Google is doing their own AI garbage. It's sad. The internet is sad these days. But yeah, anyway, what I intend to do is to share my work and my thoughts through my blog on my website and to use the existing channels like, Instagram to share that there is update on my blog. And if someone is interested, they'll hopefully come and have a look and maybe have a conversation with me over there away from the praying eyes of Mark Zuckerberg and the other drones. I know that social media is a lot more convenient in terms of following the people you're interested in, but I think that it is also convenience that has made us so exploitable and so dependent on these horrible platforms. So I think that if we are to regain any resemblance of autonomy in the future, we need to maybe get a little bit uncomfortable again and push ourselves out of the comfort zone a little more. And it gives me no joy to say that because I love my comfort zone. It's beautiful in there. I'm very comfortable. I enjoy being comfortable. And I think beautiful things do happen in the comfort zone. But there is more to this world. So let us explore. Another way in which I intend to share what is going on my blog and on YouTube, because I'm still here for now, would be my newsletter. And if you want to try something new, I invite you to join my newsletter. There will be a link in the description. And basically what is happening over there is that I send an email every month. I send a free wallpaper for your desktop or phone. And I add some updates and what I've been posting on my blog, what I've been posting on YouTube. If anything, I sometimes add discount codes for my shop. I share news about markets, if there are any. So it's like a little monthly magazine where you can find out what I've been up to. And if you don't want to join mine, there are plenty of nice ones out there that you can join, whether it's your favorite artists or your favorite something else. I kind of feel like we need to move away from the platforms if we can, or maybe we can try. And I feel like blogs are one way to do it, or the way that I have thought of so far. So yeah, I'm going to give it a try. And if you want to follow along, feel free. And let me know what you think about that. If you have any better ideas, I would be more than happy to hear that, because I am looking for ideas and solutions. And now let's move to the other drama, the Adobe drama, which is the one that is a bit more serious for me, because I guess my relationship with Adobe was I'm a bit more needy in that relationship than I am in the one with Instagram. But so if you don't know, basically Adobe is software that is used by many creatives. It's used for images editing, like photo editing, video editing, drawing, painting. I make my finished work there. It's used for sound editing, for animation, all kinds of creative work. And over the years, Adobe has become way too big, way too powerful. Some time back, it switched from selling you the software itself to selling a subscription, monthly subscription. So you're now basically renting the software, you're paying a monthly fee. It's very expensive. Nobody likes it, but we still do it, I guess. I have used it for probably close to 20 years now. I am very comfortable in the software, and switching over to something else will really be a pain in my butt. I don't like it. So what has happened? They have updated their terms of service to say that now they give themselves a full free license of your content, of the work that you create with their software, to use however they see fit. It's very open. It's very, like, there can be a very wide interpretation of what do they mean by that. And of course, many people have taken it to mean that they mean to train AI with it, because of course they also have their own AI, because why wouldn't you? Like, I mean, my grandma has her own AI. Adobe has responded and said that, nah, we totally don't mean that, you silly users. But of course, nobody believes them. Why should we? Many users have canceled their subscriptions, which has brought another drama, which is that basically the FTC in the US is suing Adobe for being too hard to cancel for users. And that's beautiful. I don't know if it's going to really hurt them in any way, but thanks for trying, I guess. Meanwhile, Affinity, which is like a competitor software, has offered a 50% discount on their products. And the best thing about their products is that you can just buy them. You don't rent them. It's not a subscription. So I have bought the package and I haven't really done anything with it yet. I would really, really like them to be the solution to my Adobe problem. So I will have to learn it now. And I'm really not excited about it because normally I love learning new things, but I feel like it's different when your learning is guided by curiosity. And in this case, it's mostly motivated by necessity, and that just doesn't have the same vibe. So to try and make things a little bit more interesting for myself, I've been thinking to come up with some kind of challenge where I create some kind of series of illustrations or something while learning this new software. And maybe you can keep me company while doing this. For the time being, I'm still keeping my subscription because I have it until November. And if I have to work on a client project, it's just a lot quicker for me. I'm just not ready to part with it just yet. I'm also hoping that being in the EU is some kind of tiny protection. The other thing is that I don't use their cloud service. I'm working locally on my computer and I hope that they can't access that, but it seems like they can. From what I've read, they probably can. Maybe they're listening right now. Hi, Adobe, you assholes. But yeah, basically, I'm embarking on a crusade to learn Affinity Designer and hopefully make it the replacement of Adobe Illustrator. I have seen many people online say that they have made the switch and that it's been beautiful. They love it and they've never looked back. So I hope that would be me in a year or so, because that would also save me a lot of money, which I can use. And in the end, I need to take my own advice to be prepared to get a bit uncomfortable in order to get some power back, as little as that might be, and stick it to the man, I guess. In other news, another thing that I might have to do, which I'm not excited about, is that I need to look for a part-time job again because my work as an artist just isn't enough to support me right now, unfortunately. I've been working very, very hard to make that happen, but I'm just not there yet. I don't know if I will ever be, but I will probably never stop trying because that would be very depressing. I hope this will be a temporary thing, but yeah, it's something that needs to be done. So yeah, if you're an artist, what are your thoughts on what has been happening with Instagram and Adobe? Please let me know in the comments. What are your solutions? What do you plan to do? And if you're not an artist, what do you think about all that? How do you feel about the growing entitlement of big companies? Do you have a solution for yourself? Are you going to just quit the internet? Every now and then I definitely fantasize about doing that. So I think it's a fair reaction. I think that right now, actively choosing the uncomfortable and going against what we actually want is kind of a form of resistance against all this corporate greed and entitlement. But yeah, I'm really, really curious to hear your thoughts. Please share if you feel comfortable to do so. I'm sorry that this video has been a bit more serious and unfun, but I just really wanted to share my thoughts with someone and hear what you think back. Also, I'm curious to hear what do you think about bringing back blogs. Is that realistic? Do you see yourself going on someone's website to check out what's up with them? Or is that too much work? Because of course you have your own life and you want to enjoy your own pursuits. And this will definitely take a lot more time and energy than just scrolling on Instagram. I'm not shaming or judging. I just really completely understand that. But do let me know what you think. Thank you so much for staying until the end. If you enjoyed it, maybe give me a little like. If you like to see more, maybe give me a little subscribe. And I hope to see you back next time. And until then, have fun.